Join Gator great Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. It is a Monday. It's National Championship Monday. We'll have JC here momentarily. The Gators in softball lose 2 out of 3 to Arkansas. Rothrock did not pitch again. I don't know what's going on there. She pitched the other day for 1 game against Auburn. Baseball gets swept. I guess it's a good thing that the basketball team's doing what they're doing. We're kind of distracted from everything else. Ovechkin is now your all-time scoring leader in NHL history, beating the great one. And we'll get JC's comments on that. JC, you're on the Titan Number Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp.
Hey, all right. Well, glad to be back in Gainesville. Had a great weekend. And, they're currently carrying the weekend over into Monday on Championship Monday in San Antonio, Texas on the Riverwalk. Let me get you a scene for our wonderful viewers. This is a scene. Now, bear with me, technology. This is a scene from the Riverwalk. Here we go.
Well, JC, everybody knows what the Riverwalk is. There's restaurants all along the river, restaurants and bars. You can get on those little boats and ride through the Riverwalk.
Well, that's what
you're going to show us.
That's what I was hoping to show us. Here you go.
Yeah, everybody has the same probably Facebook crap you have, JC, or YouTube.
This is X.
X, yeah, everybody has X.
Where's this? Trying to bring some atmosphere into the damn show, QB.
Well, you should be on Riverwalk being a live correspondent.
Hey, I made the greatest traveling decision in the history of travel yesterday by not flying through Atlanta, Georgia, like all my friends wanted me to do. And I drove, got home 4.5 hours before they did, and didn't sit through an airport for 12 hours. QB, yeah, this is a rare spot for us. How many times do you wake up in the morning, and it's not been often. It's been about, I don't know, I can't do the math right now at this hour, but it's been over 12 years since we woke up on a Monday morning ready for a championship in basketball.
Try
17. So I mean, think about it. Think about that.
18,
so many kids born today who are traveling to this game, or not born today, but alive today, who are traveling to this game or getting ready to watch it after school today, and when they get home and do their homework, were not alive when this last happened. So, the basketball team had a thrilling game against Houston. Against
Auburn Tigers,
the Auburn Fighting Tigers. And really, again, it just kind of came down to clutch shooting. I think it came down to making free throws. It came down to defense, and Walter Clayton is what it came down to. Yeah. And God bless him for doing what he's done. I saw where I was listening to a guy on the phone last night tell the person I was driving with that they pay him $600,000.
More than that.
Well, that's what this family paid. So it may have been more than that.
No, Walter makes well over $1 million.
Right. But this particular group offered him and went ahead and paid him, did whatever, 600 G's. I think they can say, if that's something you want to do, that you are getting your money's worth. I would never consider that, but that's what they did. And here he is making shots, keeping Florida basketball alive and well into Championship Monday against the team that I thought was dead and buried, QB, as I think you probably did as well.
Well, I go back to JC. I say it every time after one of our games. My conversation with all these damn beat writers in the press box of the Gasparilla Bowl, arguing with him that I thought on December the 19th or 20th, whenever that game was, that we had the best player we've ever had in the history of the school and the best team. Again, we did not win tonight.
No, I know.
Nobody will ever change my mind on that.
Okay.
Nobody.
Yeah, you've made that very clear. But I was talking about Houston.
The Houston Cougars. Yeah, I don't know how the hell they won that game.
That's what I meant.
Duke was up 9 points with like a minute and 20 seconds and and lost the game. But I mean, it couldn't have happened to a better team.
It didn't bother me.
Didn't bother me.
This is a team that had very few, if any, lapses during an important game throughout the entire season, and it came at the worst time. And Houston converted that.
What's crazy is Duke did not make a field goal for the last 8 minutes of the game.
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
They got a lot of NBA dudes on that roster and did not make one shot in the last 8 minutes of the ball game. So,
yeah.
Shooter McGavin on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, "Can we talk about the refs' investigation? It was a poor officiating in that game." Look, as I said multiple times on this program, I never get into the officiating part of it. I will agree, though. Good God, it was not good. It was not.
It could do better. I mean, you can do better. You can.
I mean, our guys were getting just
Duke's
abused,
and Duke is complaining that Cooper Flag got abused.
That was a questionable call. I get it, but here's what I'm saying: one call, did not determine the outcome of that game. It was at that time that people think it does, but it does not. I also want to give a shout out to the gymnastics team. They're headed back to Fort Worth, Texas once again.
Yeah, Jenny said she'll come on. Title. I sat next to Jenny on the flight up to Atlanta last week, Jenny Rowland. And I said, "Why don't you come on Shane's show? He's trying to get you."
He's been on the show, JC.
Well, not with me. She said, well,
she doesn't care about talking to you. She talks to the loyal listeners, but people don't understand.
She carried on the flight.
I don't like to bother people.
Oh,
I only like to bother you, JC.
Who are you bothering, QB, by asking somebody a question to come on your show? Who exactly?
JC, I am asked. I don't even coach a team. I don't recruit anybody. I don't game plan. I don't watch tape. I don't have to deal with academics. And people ask me to come on their program, and I have to sometimes tell them no.
Okay. Well,
people are busy, JC.
The good news
just because you play golf every day, you think
I don't.
You can do podcasts every day.
I do not play golf every day. But Jenny was happy to acknowledge that the show is great, and she'll be coming on as soon as they get done. And we can talk about their national championship.
Barone says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, Gretzky's still the GOAT in his opinion. He did it in less games. I thought Ovechkin did it in less games.
I think Ovechkin did. Well, it may have been. It may have
exact same.
Yeah, it may be very, very close. Yeah, it's probably very close to the same. But the thing is that Ovechkin did not have Grant Fuhr, Yari Curry, Mark Messier, and on and on and on playing with him throughout his career in Washington. They've had some horrible, disappointing collapses in the playoffs with the Washington Capitals, where Edmonton dominated the Stanley Cup playoffs during his time in Edmonton. They won 4 in a row or something ridiculous. And, he also played for the LA Kings and some other teams. So I think what Alexander
has Ovechkin been with the Capitals his entire career.
Wow. From what I can, I mean, they gave him a big deal a long time ago. He stayed loyal to that organization, never left. As players came,
he's Russian, right?
He is as Russian as Smirnoff vodka, and he's loyal to this country and that he plays and lives here. And he did not go back to play in Russia when the dictators were telling him to come home or doing this or that, and they let him go. They said, no, you can come. And when he won the Stanley Cup, he took it back to Putin and let him see it and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think Ovechkin gets involved in the politics of the world or anything like that. He's simply a hockey player, and he's the greatest of all time in terms of scoring. So there you have it. And God bless him. I mean, he plays for the Washington, D.C. Capitals. Think about that. Can you get any more red, white, and blue than that?
Brandon asks on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mello, were y'all's golf tournament results? I shot 75-75. JC, what did you shoot?
I shot 83-80.
Yeah. We had 88 guys. Some dude that came in with he was a first-year guy. We've been doing this for 20-something years, the Mississippi Masters. He came in with kind of a sketchy handicap. I think the people on the board will
let's review that.
Dive into that next year.
Let's review that. But it was good. Hey, look, the rain stayed away. The course was a little weatherized. One of the two courses. The other course I thought played great and was fine, the Oaks. And we had
two phenomenal layouts.
Oh, just tremendous time. Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun to meet people on that trip. You know,
Oh,
I
yeah,
met a
you
guy
meet
named
from all
James
over the
Miller,
world.
big LSU fan, invited me to their luxury suites anytime I want to go to LSU game.
Well,
These
we
guys
play there
are,
this year, JC.
I know, and these LSU fans are they're fun to be around. They know how to
They
entertain.
drink a lot.
Well, and they get into whatever it is they seem to be doing. Again, it could be baseball, it could be gymnastics, it could be soccer, it could be anything. LSU fans are raising hell for the purple and gold, and they're not afraid to wear it. They hate two things in life: Alabama and sometimes Florida. That's it. Those
Electronics
are their
World, integration and design specialist for smart home automation and entertainment, affordable local installation service and support. Go check them out, electronicsworld.net. We'll have our
So what do you think
winner of our picks not picks contest, but the bracket contest. We'll know tomorrow. The people that set all that up will let me know who is our winner, and I'll let you know what your prize pack is. Russ on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, "Man, what has happened to softball and baseball?" Well, softball is 35-8, I think. They do not have their star pitcher.
That's right.
That's it. They got a freshman that's been pitching. They call her Red. Oxley's her last name. And they lost the series here. They didn't get swept. Baseball.
Well, I mean, it's clear they have to get Rothrock if they're going to win.
Yes. And maybe, like I said, it honestly, it does not matter till postseason play. Hopefully she'll be ready to roll.
But she has to be ready. She has to be ready for that. And I think that's the whole plan. As far as baseball, I listened to that game yesterday. QB, this team leaves too many runners on base. They don't pitch as well, and they will not make the postseason. And essentially, I don't care what happens in Missouri this weekend. This season's over. That team is not going to – just listening to that game, you would have thought that Jeff Cardozo and the catcher, who's his
Eric.
Huh?
Eric.
No, it was another guy.
Eric. He's a doctor in town.
Cardozo. No. Anyway, God Almighty, what a trip. Anyway, listen to those guys. You would have thought they were leaving a funeral during the entire broadcast. The team was awful. They left runners on base in every stinking inning. It felt like listening to the game, and they're just, you can't lose 3 straight at home to a mid-tier SEC team. And that's what Vanderbilt is. It is a mid-tier SEC team. They're not even on the top echelon, in my opinion, of this season. And
so I'm going to finish Russ's comment. Russ wanted to know what's going on with softball, baseball. Then you went your tangent. But then he wants to know who the backup quarterback is. By the way, JC, spring game is Saturday. Did you know that?
Eric Castaldo.
That's it.
Eric Castaldo was, and I tell you, God bless Eric, but he did. He sounded like he just left the funeral during the broadcast yesterday. And Jeff was just miserable. I could tell. I know Jeff, so Big Red can't fool me. I mean, he's trying to be optimistic, but they see the writing on the wall. This team's going nowhere. All right, so Orange. Listen, man. This kid with the quarterback situation here, QB.
Nobody, I'm not even worried about it. We're talking, it's basketball. And
you're right.
By the way, you're right. The Masters is this week.
You're right. It's basketball. The only thing you should be thinking about.
Yes.
You're 100%, 1,000 right.
Yeah. However, I'm going to read some of these comments here. Gator Art says, Shane, do you think we dodged a bullet playing Duke? Absolutely. I said I wanted to play Houston. Houston could go through scoring droughts.
Yes.
Well, as I say that, Duke went through one for 8 minutes.
Yes.
But I just like our matchup. Duke is so damn long. I'd much rather be playing Houston. Michael on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, wants to know why Tim Walton got tossed. Okay, you gotta Google that. Go on Twitter. It was a 30-minute review, and it went the wrong way. And my man Tim did an Earl Weaver.
Oh yeah.
He went running out there to the home plate guy. He was kicking dirt on him. He covered the entire home plate.
Oh, I was
raising hell.
Luke Piniella, Earl Weaver. Gosh, I wish I'd seen that. And he's an Oriole guy.
All you got to do is just put Tim Walton in the search line, JC, on Twitter. We have to teach you everything on this program.
Yes, you do.
Tony says, don't drag us down with football today, JC.
I'm not. I mean, you're the one who mentioned the orange blue game. But
because there's a lot going on this week. Normally, this is the greatest week ever because a tradition like no other.
Yes, it is.
But
Jim,
nobody cares right now. We'll worry about that tomorrow.
well, thank you, Jim. There's a nice passage here from Jim Kenyoris. I remember the Edmonton Oilers. Yes, I do, Jim. I'm very big on the hockey. Thank you for chiming in, Jim. And yes, Mark Messier was great. So was Paul Coffey. But yeah, so in basketball, QB, somehow my youngest son got into the game for the price of a student, even though he's a graduate now. And he said to me, he's reported back and told me he's seen plenty of former ex-Gator football players in San Antonio. Everybody is showing up in San Antonio. And the atmosphere is just fabulous. The Gator representation is outstanding. Houston's going to bring 100,000 people down the highway tonight to watch this, wherever they can get a place to watch it. But Houston has never won this in 7 tries, and Florida has won it twice. So who do you think has an advantage? It's a 1.5 point spread.
I like the Gators. I like them because they got the best player in America with the ball in his hand, and he still don't shoot enough, in my opinion, because he can take over a game at any time, any minute. And so I think Walter.
And you think Houston's just going to let him shoot whenever he wants to? QB.
Nobody does, JC.
I mean, I'm saying
he's a creator.
Okay, well, I mean, they create,
and he also just flat out shoots over people. The shot he made in the corner, falling away over Baker Mazar, who, by the way, is 6'9", wingspan about 7'3", was ridiculous. He can create his own shot, but look, it's going to take a village there. You know, our guards. I think Will Richard has played okay. He hasn't been in the scoring column. I need him to hit some shots tonight.
I need Martin to be physical too.
He's going to be physical. He's a Houston Cougar playing for us, is what.
That's what he is. That's exactly what he is.
And then Thomas Houck's going to do what Thomas Houck does. Yeah. I get concerned about Condon, because Condon,
when he gets the ball,
he has way too many turnovers. The ball just goes. He just gives the ball away. So he did some nice things defensively, closing out on some 3-point shooters there against Auburn. But he's fumbled the ball way too much and been pushed around. But anyway, let's get to some of these texts here. Greetings from the Panhandle. Must be Paul.
That's Paul. Paul, my Marine.
We're about to get whacked with the line of storms. Have you noticed how many rebounds our guards get? All 5 players hit the board. Some teams don't have their guards rebound for fear of fast breaks. Yes, that's true.
Very good,
Here's
Paul.
A text says, rumors that Sully said he has done all he can do for the Gators and may move to another coaching position at the end of the year. Terrible season this year. Well, I mean, he must go to a different team, I guess he's referring.
17 years, QB, he's been here.
He's done a great job.
Yeah.
Christopher Mayaka says on the Titan Mar text line, we need to be careful with Houston. If we have a lackluster start to the game like we have been and get down by 10, it'll be much harder to come back against them. Fast start seals the game for us tonight. Why does Condon start over Houck? Condon has become an offensive liability. You probably just stick with what you've done all year long. And I agree, though. Houck, I've said it for months. His foot speed, his ball handling, his shooting ability.
It's better.
It's light years over Condon's, in my opinion.
Better. Clint wants to know where to eat lunch on Monday. He's coming to Gainesville. What would I say? Go to the Swamp on University Avenue if you want to be on campus. I mean, it's easy now. Parking, I'm not sure about, but it's easy. Try that, Clint.
Yeah.
God bless you. Play golf. So Condon was. It just seems like some of his confidence has been shaken here in the latter part of the season. He seemed more aggressive and more sure of himself earlier in the year to me.
Well, a lot of times earlier in the year, he'd have like fast breaks wide open. His problem is when the ball goes down low to him.
Yes.
He does not keep the ball up high a lot of times. He puts it back low, and that's when the ball is swiped away. It's just anyway, we're not going to sit here and get
well,
look,
I mean,
we're here to win a title, JC. So we need everybody to play well. Let's get to this day in sports, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life. Campus USA Credit Union. On this day, we had 2 basketball championships crowned. The first one was the Syracuse Orangemen. They were the Orangemen back then.
They sure were.
They beat the Jayhawks. Carmelo Anthony was your outstanding player. The same day in 2008, when the last time all 4 top seeds advanced to the Final Four until this year, The Jayhawks beat the Memphis Tigers 75-68. That's this day of sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. All right, JC, we're going to switch gears just for 1 minute outside of football. Basketball. I don't know if people saw this. So the coach at Grambling, his name is Mickey Joseph. Why do I feel like he used to coach in the NFL? Talking about the transfer portal. He basically, this is very interesting to me. He said there needs to be a buyout. If a player moves up from me to go to a group of 5 or a power 4 school, I should get compensation for that. So should there be buyouts?
He's now talking about contractual obligations, and that is the way you will control this. Eventually, that's what's going to happen. They're going to sign them up, QB. They're going to be employed basically, and
right. But he's saying if Kerwin Bell, who lost I think 4 or 5 of his,
I know what he's saying,
to be backups at group of 5s and a couple of 4s, if the Gators, Billy Napier signs a catamount from Western Carolina, like a receiver, should Florida have to give money to Western Carolina? I think they should.
I mean, why? There's no contractual obligation.
I know that, but I'm saying maybe in the future, because I agree 100% with that, because
that's right.
These smaller schools go get diamonds in the rough.
Yes, and then lose them.
And they lose them.
That's correct. And that's not going to change until there's an obligation, until we see that. And right now it's the wild, wild west. It's bank robberies wherever you can find one, and get on your horse and ride out of town if you have to, right? Or you can stick around in the saloon for about a year or so, and then you can ride on out of town on your horse. So that's going to have to change. And what would cause that? How would that be created? It's called contractual. And that means the administrations are going to have to give up a little bit. Players are going to be then represented by an association. It's all going to be professional sports part 2, QB. But you can tie in a academic standard into that contractual obligation.
Nobody goes to class, JC.
You can do it if you want this to be college. Yes, you can. Because if the kid was told, hey, you're going to get $1.5 million, but your ass has to be in English 101, or you have to see this tutor and you have to take that test, then guess what? He's going to do it because he wants that $1.5 million. I'm telling you, this is almost too easy to predict, QB. Almost as good as me predicting Atlanta would be miserable yesterday. It is going to happen.
JC, it didn't. You are now you're Jim Cantori. You look at
did I get on that? Did I get on that plane yesterday, QB? No, I did not.
Ted says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melon Law, why do you think Alexis can't get any minutes? We hadn't played in a long time. They're down. I mean, they cut it down about. I mean, they even got Urban off the court. I forgot. He may have played in the first game against Norfolk. Had a couple bad turnovers and didn't defend, and they yanked him out. He ain't been back since. So they're going to stick with what they have. So 31M Burr says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, if they give money to the school, that's coming out of the players' pocket. Screw that.
I'm telling you, I really believe they're going to have some contractual obligations involved in this reorganization of college athletics. That's eventually going to happen. I don't know why it'll take so long. These people are supposed to be smart who will run these programs. They're good business people, so they should know this. We'll see what happens. But I think the people giving money away are obviously good business people because they have money most of the time. That means that. But
it's Chris and Mayak on the Titan Mark text, and I says Connor's been he dominated inferior opponents. His weakness as a player has been exposed in this tournament. No way he gets drafted. It will be nice to get him back next year along with Houck. Yeah. Now, Houck has a chance he could go to the NBA. He's moving up the board. So he looks way more like an NBA player to me because he's and can move. You got to be able to move in that league.
Maybe he'll be
JC.
Maybe he'll be an NBA player tonight. And
that's what we need.
That's what we need. Now, QB, this 8:50 p.m. thing, you're going to have to take a nap before you
No, I don't do naps, JC. I will battle, but it is ridiculous that they start that late.
I know. We really did enjoy the Central Time Zone, and I really noticed how.
Although it was tough for a 5 o'clock tip when you're coming off the golf course.
Very true. Very true.
Thank God we didn't have a weather delay.
That's right. That's right. Thank God we didn't have car path only. Thank God the Masters is this weekend. You know, it's great. You parlay a championship in basketball with a with the first major in golf. What a sports week we have. It's too bad that the Gator baseball team at Missouri will not get as much attention, but maybe it will. I don't know.
Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel Laws. Do I think Elijah Martin's an NBA material? His athleticism is off the charts.
He could be. I think he could be. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because, I mean, the rosters are so small. You know, only so many people stick, you know, that come out of this draft.
Yeah.
I think Elijah can make money overseas, but you never know. You never know. But yeah, his athleticism is he's
that
just
dunk he had, that picture of him dunking the ball.
that's one of the greatest pictures of all time.
Oh my God, that's got NBA written all over it, man. That is an NBA play. That's what that was. So, you know, listen, man, this is going to be a great night, and I don't think they're going to be nervous. I don't think they're going to be jittery. I think they're just going to go out there and battle, try to score as many points as possible against probably the best defensive team in the country.
Barone 71 on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, says if Florida wins tonight, they enter a level with only North Carolina State, Villanova, and Louisville with programs that have 3 basketball titles.
Well, there are many schools that have more than 3 basketball titles. What does he mean?
He's saying we get to 3 and we'd be equivalent to them.
Okay. All right. You compare yourself to that. That's fine.
It means Alabama got it, JC.
In what? Basketball?
Yeah. Yeah. Just curious.
Just curious.
Just curious.
Well, that's all right. You know, I mean, yeah. I think the SEC is well represented by Florida and Alabama throughout the last 3 decades. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. In everything. I mean,
text on the Titan More text line from Bob. He says, JC, who do you have winning the Masters? Now, we'll do our Peachland Dental picks for the Masters on Wednesday.
But I've been pounding the table for Rory to get the career Grand Slam. I think he will. So that's who I have.
And 31 M. Burr wants you to know, JC, that JU and FAU have as many Final Fours as Bama.
Well, 31 M. Burr. I mean, basketball is fun for those folks up there in Tuscaloosa, but we all know what bread's the butter. What butter's the bread?
What bread's the butter? Interesting.
What butters the bread? But you know, I'm rooting hard for him. I'm going to lay the 1.5. I may buy it down to 1. I don't know, but either way, I think it's going to be a very fun game. I think the winner, whoever it is, wins by 5 points. There you go. That's a prediction for you. Free throws at the end.
James on the Titan More text line says, congratulations to UConn on another national championship in women's basketball. I think it's been like a 6 to 8 year drought, though, for them.
Yeah.
But they just demolished the Gamecocks.
God, they did. They just killed them. And
Paige Becker's one of the best to ever play. Will now move on to the WNBA.
Yeah. They'll have 2 now. They'll have 2. Well, 2 that I know of. Paige Becker's, Caitlin Clark, and then there's a couple other girls. But, yeah.
Kevin on the Titan More, Titan More text line says, I think JC is right in Alabama. They bred the butter.
Breaded butter always tastes good. Hold on, dog.
Where are you going?
I'm letting the dog out.
Oh, the rat. You mean the rat?
Yeah, she's a good girl. Well, yeah, I'm just glad that I know people who are in San Antonio. I'm living vicariously through them as I go to work today and talk to people who are a lot poorer than they were last week. And we'll see how this week goes, but on that front, man. But and the markets and so forth. But basketball is something that you watch for 4 months. It starts in November. I wish it would start in January and we'd have May Madness. But it's okay. Here we are, first weekend in April coming up, or first whenever, and you're playing for a title. And you hang a flag in the Exact Tech Arena next year, hopefully. So I know Houston wants this badly. They've never won it before. They've been 7 times. I've already said that, but Florida wants it just as badly. So let's get excited. Take your naps if you have to, folks. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be another light one.
Yeah, a lot of people on YouTube are talking about Denzel Aberdeen. Yeah, he's really good
great
coming off the bench.
He's been great. He can be a real pain in the ass.
Really smart player.
Yeah.
And done a great job. Text on the Titan More text line from William. He says, JC,
yes,
would you rather be Todd Golden coaching for a national title tonight,
yeah,
or headed to Augusta to battle for a green jacket.
Oh, you mean to play? Oh, yeah, I'd rather.
Well, would you rather be, I guess he's saying, would you rather be Todd Golden, who coaches a team with a chance to win a national title tonight, or
Yeah.
be a pro golfer
Um,
going to play in the
I would
Masters?
rather be a pro golfer because
Yeah.
then I don't have to worry about what my
But
players are going to do every
here's
day.
the thing:
I get to take my caddy and my clubs.
most pro
Golf.
golfers have multiple opportunities to win the Masters,
That's right.
because they go every year if you qualify.
Yeah, I mean, rosters.
There's no guarantee Todd Golden will ever get back to a Final Four.
There's none.
So I don't know. Chad wants to know who won the Mississippi Masters. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know.
His name was Alan Probst from Chiefland, Florida.
Oh, he's from Chief. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and I did
from all over the world that go to this.
Well, I've seen guys from Chiefland come and go, but I've never seen him. And Craig told me yesterday that Alan's been a couple times. I've never seen him before.
Never seen him. There's a lot of people that show up there I've never seen in my life.
A lot of golfers there, QB.
88. That's a lot.
A big number. Yeah.
Why there's a big pot.
2001, there was 99.
Daryl on YouTube, brought to you by Quad Plum, says, good morning. Did you guys hear how Walter Clayton's stock is? Jay Williams said he would take him number 2 behind Cooper Flagg. Look, I don't know where he's going to go. I don't really care what he does as an NBA player. I hope he has a great career. All I know is since I became a Gator in 1988, he's the best I've ever seen.
There you go. Okay. Well, I mean, lucky you got to see him.
Andy's got a great question on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Where will Jim Nance be tonight? Isn't he supposed to report to Augusta today? No. Well, he doesn't. He probably won't go on air until, I don't know. Does he do the par 3?
That's on Wednesday. I don't know if he does or not, but he'll be over there doing pre-production.
Yeah, he will be, and I guarantee you he'll be sitting behind the bench in the Houston section tonight.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Freddie Couples wasn't sitting next to him or somewhere in that building. Houston has a pretty there's some pretty famous alumni that went to University of Houston. But this is a school that's in the Big 12 that came out of what I think was Conference USA or something like that. They were kind of in the mid-level tier of schools and sports, and then the Big 12 took them over and entered the conference through a realignment. And this is a great thing for the Big 12, playing for a championship. I mean, they don't get to play for a lot of things. So this was a good move for Houston. It's a good move for the league. And look at what's happening in basketball. This benefited the Big 12 conference massively by expanding, and that's what the whole idea was, right? So.
Yeah. All right, JC, before we get you out of here, so for the Peachland Dental picks, we'll do golf picks on Wednesday. Tonight, we got one pick, obviously, for the national title. The Gators are favored over the Houston Cougars.
I'm taking the
Gators.
Yes. Well, lay 1.5. I've been on them for the whole tournament, basically. So let's,
I think the key to the game tonight, in my opinion, is control. I think his name is Jamal Roberts, number 13.
Yes.
About 6'10", lefty. Their big guy who he's in his 6th or 7th year at Houston.
That's right.
But he looks like he's 42. They need to check his birth certificate.
He should be playing for the Rockets.
Yeah.
But, right.
So we have to make him go right, take away his left hand down low, and don't let him get going. Their guards will make a few shots here and there. LJ Cryer, the kid that transferred from Baylor, he won a national title as a freshman at Baylor. But they aren't a great shooting team. Now, I'll be damned. They could go lights out tonight. But if we can get a lead on these guys, I think we're okay.
I agree with you. I think it's going to come down to the last 5 minutes who plays the clutchest. And I think it'll be close the whole game. But I like
Wally Gator says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, the ESPN has Houston as a 65% chance to win.
Well, I don't know what that means. Nobody knows what that means. ESPN has this percentage thing. None of that matters about anything. They all picked Duke. So the thing is that you watch these games, Florida, and I've always said, and unless you were UConn of last year, the teams that come out with championships from tournaments like this have always had, at some point during their run, during the 6-game run that they had to participate in to win the tournament, there was always that moment where they were about to lose, okay, or this or that. Well, that happened with UConn and Texas Tech. And so it happened twice. If there's any team that's battle-tested through adversity and pressure in this 6-game stretch called the NCAA tournament, it is the team wearing orange and blue. And so they are the 3rd seed overall. I think Houston is the 4. So the Gators will be in white tonight. And Houston,
I thought we were the 4th seed.
Okay, I got it backwards. So we will be in
I
blue.
think we are. Hell, I can't remember.
No, you're probably right. So we'll be in blue. They'll be in their white, and it'll be
What if we came out in black? You think the fans would go ballistic?
I would hate it, but whatever.
Yeah,
But
we'll wear blue.
they'll come out in blue. They won the other night in blue. They'll win in blue again. So it's exciting, and man, I can't wait for 8:50, and I'll be back to talk about it on Wednesday. New handle, JC says bet at X. So
it's what?
The new handle, the new X handle is at JC says bet. So
says bet like BET.
BET, get your money out there tonight on the Fighting Gators -1.5. Buy it to 1. Take the money line, parlay it with the total. I don't care what you do, but get on.
What is the total?
Didn't check that. But I will. But listen, man, this is your opportunity. I had a futures play on the Gators 3 weeks ago to win the whole thing. Here it is. Gators 100 to win 450. Okay, that's plus 350. I then sneaked in the Houston Cougars 50 to win 350. I'm rooting for the Gators, and I got both of them. I did not have Duke, so I was happy when Duke lost.
You didn't tell us what the total was after all that.
Oh, you did ask me that. The total tonight is 141, and
that may be one of the lowest we've had all year.
Yeah, 141. Oh, this is going to be a very tough team to navigate. I mean, Houston plays the best defense I've ever seen in basketball.
Yeah. All I got to say, Walter needs to take over. Do not pass the ball.
I'm with you.
Do not try to get people involved. Take over the damn basketball game.
See if he can do it.
Because he can do it in a heartbeat.
There you go.
Drive the ball, then pull up, knock down shot. All right, JC.
That's it, man.
Have a good day. Go work out. Do whatever you're going to do today. Make some money for all of us.
Oh, been rough there.
It's been rough, but hey, you just got to battle through it.
Okay, brother. We'll see you guys Wednesday. We'll talk about the championship.
That's JC. Join us on the Titan No More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Tent. We'll take a quick time out, come back. I'll get to more of these texts and questions because all my guests that usually come on, I think they're all still asleep in San Antonio. They need a rest up.
It was loud and rowdy last night in the at the Alamo, bro. It really was.
Yeah. We'll be right back. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union,
International Diamond Center,
Meldon Law, QC Kinetics, Dave & Buster's, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, JF Hayden Craft Liqueurs, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Los Linderos Tequila. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sporting Goods, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteak, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Sign, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Okido America, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Nest and Wow, MG&A Wealth Management. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor, call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Unleash the Inferno.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football.
Let's go.
We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand. We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers and go Gators.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. They have fine jewelry, watches, and much more. Family owned and operated with the largest selection of natural diamond jewelry. We want to appreciate JC for joining us today. Also, there are many car washes in Gainesville, but only one Gallo car wash. It's locally owned by a UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations on Northwest 13th Street and Southwest Williston Road, and coming soon to Jonesville. If you missed it, baseball was swept by Vanderbilt this weekend. Gymnastics moves on to Fort Worth for the national championship meet. Softball wins one out of the series against Arkansas. Don't know when Rothrock's coming back. She pitched against one game against Auburn last weekend, none this weekend, I don't believe. So we got to have her for postseason. This team is too good. We need her. That's all that matters is postseason play for them anyway. Okay, let me get to a couple of texts here on the Titan Amar text line. This is from Larry in Memphis. Larry says, Shane, have you been out to any practices? And how does DJ look and the rest of the receivers? I've been to one practice. It was last week. I've not seen any recent practices. I may go. Let's see. They'll probably practice Tuesday and Thursday of this week. I'll try to get by there. The game is Saturday or whatever practice. The orange and blue practice will be Saturday. DJ's still not throwing. I think if we had to play a game and DJ could not play, I think Harrison Bailey would be your starting quarterback. Really talented group of receivers that can run. I think we're fine there. I think offensively, this team's got a chance to be really good. They like the offensive line. We know we got a bunch of running backs that could run the football. I think this team, it comes down to the front seven on defense for us to be a team that can be in the conversation of making the college football playoffs. That's just my 2 cents. Front seven on defense has to come alive, and we'll be okay. But I think offensively, they're going to be pretty good. Florida Boy says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, Bruce Pearl said the size of the guards, of our Florida guards, was a big factor and will be again tonight. Yeah, I mean, we got good size there. I think Will Richard, like you said, he hasn't made a whole lot of shots in the Final Four or in the last couple of games. Shots been off a little bit, but he does so many other good things on the side. Hopefully he'll get loose tonight and knock down a few early. Barone, so how was the new punter? Did not watch, be quite honest. Like I said, I don't, spring ball does nothing for me. Nothing at all. Frankie says, hasn't Warner been running with the ones? I think they alternate a lot. But I personally think Harrison Bailey would be your starter. That's who I would start if we had to play a game without DJ. Rick says the way stocks are crashing, JC needs to move to Vegas to make a living. The stocks will come back. Yeah, they always do. It's just not good right now. Okay. Text on the Titan Amar text line from Phil. Phil says, who do y'all like in the Masters this week? Well, JC, I think just mentioned he likes Rory. I mean, you got to like Scheffler. I haven't really looked or thought about it. We're going to do our picks on Wednesday. But boy, it's a great time. Hopefully the weather. Now I know they're closed today. I did see where Augusta National is closed today. No practice round, nothing because of the weather that came through or coming through. But let's check out the weather for all week in Augusta. That's going to be crucial. We need it to be firm and fast and not soft. So daily, it's going to pour today. It's only 100% chance of rain. At least an inch. And then it ain't raining Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 40% on Friday, which probably doesn't rain. Saturdays, oh, it could be a great week at Augusta National outside of today. Florida Boy says on YouTube, brought to you by Qualcomm, every team says they can stop Walter Clayton like it's just that easy. Well, they haven't done. Walter can create, I love it when he takes the ball to the rack. He is so crafty. I think his body control in the air, when he gets going to the rim, that's when it really opens up everything. And I just think he needs to shoot more. I've always said it. I think he's that good of a player. All right. There was something else I had to bring up and I just forgot. Too many concussions. But anyway, Tonight game tips at 8:50. My keys to the game again, controlling the boards with number 13 for them. I think his last name is Roberts. He's their guy. We cannot let that guy get going. So I want Ruben to lean heavy on him early. When we bring in Micah needs to pound on him a little bit. I think he's only about 6'10", but he's crafty. So we got to lean on him, make their guys make shots. Nobody will convince me that they're a great shooting team. I don't care what it says. I've watched a lot of Houston over the years. I watched them this year. It's probably their best shooting team that Sampson's ever had. But if we get off to a good start, you should feel pretty good at home. Franklin says Walter either scores or gets fouled when he goes to the right. That's true. Now, however, he got mauled a couple of times against Auburn, and they swallowed their whistles for some reason. And I don't know why. I mean, the guy goes banging to the ground. They don't call a foul. Text on the Titan More text line from James. He says, Shane, do you think this is Sully's last year at Florida? I don't know. I mean, Sully's done a phenomenal job. It's one of those years. Obviously, it's hard to believe that they've only won one game in the conference. Honestly, I've not followed baseball right now. This is the time after this basketball game because we made such a long run. In the past few years, we would have been talking more softball and baseball because we were out of the NCAA tournament. But they're not going to make postseason play. It's impossible. The league is too tough. So it's just going to be one of those years, and maybe reevaluate recruiting, which kids you recruit, things of that nature. But very surprised, no question about it. But Sully's done a great job here, and I think he will learn from this season, hopefully. And we'll be back. Baron says Sully is entitled to a rebuild year, support him in Gator baseball as much as possible, regardless of the outcome. Yeah, and I wouldn't even consider this a rebuild year. I don't think you really have a rebuild programs anymore because of the portal. Maybe just pick the wrong kids, or they've had some injuries as well. Scott says, is there any radio or TV coverage for the Orange and Blue? No TV, but there will be radio. It's basically when there's radio, you're sitting there talking about the walk-on wide receiver from LaGrange, Georgia, that his grandfather played with Coach Spurrier, blah, blah. It's one of those deals. It's kind of hard. You don't really call a game. We'll be on the air talking about high school players and things of that nature. Asa says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, QB Walter Clayton is a lot like Patrick Mahomes, very slippery. Yes, he is. Mark wants to know, how deep is Houston? Can we get? They're not real deep. I mean, they got dudes. They all look the same. The guy you want to get in foul trouble is 13. He's their one big man that can cause some problems. They got some good guards, not great guards, that can make some shots every now and then. Monty asked on the Titan More text line, I realize this early, but how does CJ Ingram fit into this squad next? CJ is very athletic. He will play immediately. They like him a lot. He's a really good player. It's going to be interesting to see what Todd does in the off season in the portal, because you got to think with the way that we've played this year, guys are going to want to come play for him. And so they should have the pick of the litter. I did see where the point guard, Silas Demery, I think's his name, from Georgia, who's a pretty good player, he committed to Connecticut through the portal. So we'll see. But, we're losing our offensive and defensive coordinator. I'm anxious to see who he promotes or brings in there because those guys have done a tremendous job. No question about it. Greg says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, maybe Billy should rest DJ for that Long Island USF games. No, he needs to play every game he can. I still don't understand that whole situation. Maybe somebody can clue me in at the Orange and Blue game, what's going on there. All right, last thing before we get out of here, AU Gator on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, Given the stars we had in baseball last year and the setbacks this year, could basketball experience the same letdown year next year with changes in the basketball team? Thanks and go get. Yeah, very possible. I mean, you're losing all three guards. There's a chance you lose Condon or Hauk. Yeah, you're going to see a tremendous turnover. And and what people need to remember, there's no guarantee. Let's just say Ruben Chinyelu probably come back, was at Washington State last year. Somebody may offer him more money than we're willing to pay that position, and he may go somewhere. I have no information on that, so don't report it. I'm just using that as an example. It could be, Denzel Aberdeen is penciled in to be a starter next year, but there's a chance that they find a point guard they like better from Louisville or somewhere, bring him in. Does Denzel want to sit on the bench again? I think he'd be a senior or junior. I can't remember. He may want to go somewhere to play more. So that's the crazy thing about the transfer portal. Even successful teams that win championships, there's a lot of turnover. So Barone says Aberdeen, how starting next year, can't see Condon leaving now. You never know. Like I said, we think they're going to be Gators. They may not. Let's hope they are. And John says the Gator boys stay hot tonight. I think they will as well. Appreciate everybody chiming in today. Again, hopefully tomorrow morning, we will be talking about a new national championship, a new banner to hang in the O'Connell Center. It's been a phenomenal year. It's been a fun year. Maybe one of the funnest teams I've ever watched play at any sport here at the University of Florida. Tip of the hat to Ty Golden, his staff. Tip of the hat to all these players for what they've done for our program. And let's hope they seal it off tonight with a national title. So good luck to the Gator boys, and appreciate you chiming in. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Take care.